Hi, I'm Jeff Hatcher, and I'm going to read from my play, Murderers. It's a monologue play. The only thing that you have to know is that when the lights come up, the character is wearing a dinner jacket and black tie. I am a murderer. This is my uniform. All the best murderers wear black tie when committing murder. Sleuth, dilemma for murder, various episodes of Columbo. Murder mysteries teach us that. Murder mysteries also teach us that the best murderers always make one fatal mistake. The unforeseen circumstance, the overlooked detail, the character flaw that unravels the whole perfectly orchestrated plot. Spiff always said that one should wear black tie for formal occasions. I should think a murder would qualify. None of us had any inkling of Spiffy's illness until well after the party for Puss and Pepper. Puss and Spiffy had known each other since they were 3 years old, and Puss's new husband, Pepper, a character, a plaid cummerbund lampshaded party type who'd been married and widowed twice already, was now taking his new bride from the snows of the north to the shores of Florida. The farewell party is marvelous. That's one of Spiff's words, marvelous. A debutante's word from the 1940s. Spiff was one of those gals who studied Vogue for a living and never settled for that aging Vassar hairband look. Spiff is a widow herself. Her husband died 15 years ago. Tonight she's wearing one of her ultra-suede pantsuits with the Nehru tunic and military buttons. She looks like Diana Vreeland's idea of Dr. No. Ting, ting, ting. Spiff is making a toast. Those of you who can still raise your arms above your chests, please take up a glass. It's hard to find one love of your life, let alone a second. Puss, you and Pepper are truly blessed. Bon voyage. Here, here, clink, clink, drink. The next day, Puss and Pepper flew down to Florida. 3 weeks later, Puss was dead. She'd gotten a cold that turned into pneumonia, and then her respirator gave out. Pepper called Spiff with the news. Puss was in such pain. It was better this way. I'm going to move to Arizona. Spiff took Puss's death well and didn't want to discuss the details. When people die, Spiff takes it, marks it, and moves on. Laura takes a dim view of this. Mom has never shown much emotion about anyone's death. I think that's horrible. Laura thinks one should work harder to get to the grief that you then have to work harder to get out of. Spiff never knows what to call me, son-in-law, daughter's boyfriend, live-in lover. Laura and I are not married. We met 15 years ago in college outside Washington, D.C., in West Virginia of all places. Lived there together for 7 years, so I joked with Spiff that we're probably a common-law couple anyway. Spiff loves us, but our unmarried status irritates her. It's impractical, and she is nothing if not a highly practical woman, as you shall see. The first inkling of her illness came in February. Her appetite was poor. She'd been tired a lot. Laura took her to Dr. Rosenblum for some tests. A few days later, he called and said we should all come in. Spiff, it's your kidneys. You have 90% failure. You have 6-8 weeks at the most. As we left the office, Spiff marches to the elevator and presses the up button. Laura looks at me. Mom, we're going down, not up. Spiff snaps. Up is where my lawyers are. She'd made the appointment in advance. In the lawyer's office, we sit down with the estate's attorney, Arthur Adelot, which sounds like a mnemonic, but is actually his name. Arthur is a man whose discretion is so discreet it is not even noticed. Arthur is holding a printout. Your estate, as of this morning, is estimated at approximately $5 million, give or take. Spiff nods. And what happens if I die today? Well, your heir is your daughter, Laura, and her boyfriend, yes. Well, the feds for your bracket take 40%. 40% of $5 million is $2 million, leaving $3 million. Spiff nods. $3 million? Well, that's not bad. Well, it's not so simple as that. You see, you don't have the $2 million in cash. You'd have to sell stock. Your stocks are very old. Heirs will have to pay capital gains. That's another third. Now you're down to $2 million. Sell the house. That's more capital gains. Now you're under $1.5 million. Spiff gives us a dirty look. All those years you kept trying to make me vote Democratic. Isn't there any way around this goddamned mess? This is the first emotion I've seen Spiffy reveal so far. And it has not been about her pending death. It's about her pending death tax. Adelot shakes his head. Now, the only sheltered arrangement the feds recognize is that between a husband and his wife. A spouse may leave any amount to the remaining spouse, and the IRS can't touch a penny of it. Now, I cannot tell you that it was much later that the plan struck me, because it struck me immediately. The only question was how to bring it up. That night over dinner at the club, I gin up my courage to speak when Spiff suddenly looks across the table and says, "I think we should get married." Thank you.